All right, welcome back to the Be Healthy Thrive podcast. My name is Brianna Wilkerson from Made Well. I'm a holistic health and life coach, really journeying to empower women to be healthy and thrive in all areas of their life. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And today I have four amazing ladies with me. And these ladies are they're just so amazing. And so they all are fitness and wellness professionals, and they kind of specialize in a bunch of different areas. So my heart around this particular podcast is really helping you enjoy exercise again and helping you seeing that it does not have to be something that's cumbersome. It doesn't have to be something where you dread it. It can be something you enjoy. And so I'm so excited. I'm just going to have the ladies kind of introduce themselves. And what I'll do is kind of specifically call their names out so those listening via audio can kind of know who they are. So let's start with Jennifer. Jennifer, could you introduce yourself to us?
Hi, how are you? My name is Jennifer Wagman, and I am a Zumba group fitness instructor, primarily Zumba at Rhythm Fitness with Jen Wagman on Facebook. And I just love it. I just love everything about group fitness. That's what works for me. And I fell in love with Zumba and decided to become an instructor, and the rest is history. So
yeah, that's awesome. I was just making a joke earlier about my coordination, and Jennifer laughed. I can do it. It is intense. So I love that you do Zumba. All right, thanks. Maybe Stacy, can you introduce yourself now?
Sure. Hello, I am Stacy Stills, and I'm a health and wellness coach and a certified fitness instructor. And I am also the owner of My Three Sons Health and Wellness. So I'll get into that a little bit later, but that's a little bit about who I am. I'm the mother of three boys, hence My Three Sons Health and Wellness. And I specifically work with moms to help them to kind of balance life, fitness, and all that comes with motherhood.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so inspired whenever I watch your videos. I'm like, man, she's fitting it in. Like, three sons. I have none yet, and I feel like my life is so busy. So that's amazing. All right, now Lou, could you introduce yourself to us?
Hi.
Hi.
All right, I'm Lou Melchior, and I am a mind-body fitness professional. And let's see, my background is actually in athletic training and sports medicine. And over time, I guess I evolved from prevention and rehabilitation of athletic injuries into general health and wellness and prevention. And I've kind of evolved from strength and conditioning, rehab, like I said, and have taught all forms of group fitness. And then eventually I discovered yoga and Pilates, and I kind of fell in love with that because to me, it was just a perfect balance of strength and flexibility, and it allowed me to create a lot of stability in my body that I was lacking. So anyway, I fell in love with that and started teaching that and have been working on that ever since. So I like to work with busy professional women. Entrepreneurs are also another one of my favorite groups of people to work with. Basically people who are busy, who might not have a lot of time to fit exercise in. And I like to create simple, convenient, easy to follow things that they can fit into their busy days. So
That's awesome. Yeah. I always think about you every time I do a stretch. I'm like, this is what Lou would want me to do right now. Like sitting at my desk, just
right. That's the perfect way to fit it in.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you're stressed out. Like I have a friend, she's like, always just do the downward dog. And I'm like, right. Awesome. Thank you, Lou. All right, Anya, would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Sure. Hi, my name is Anya Perry. I'm very happy to be here and share the space with such awesome ladies. I am a nutrition coach and educator, and I'm also a CrossFit coach, level 1. So I'm not a certified CrossFit coach, which is a little different. And I usually, my main area of work is nutrition and wellness, but I did coach at a local gym because CrossFit trainers are not allowed to coach online, not really. And I have a very non-fit, not healthy person background until about 5 years ago when I really fell in love with long distance running. And that led me to a couple of injuries, sadly. And then it led me to CrossFit because I started working on more strength building. And I found an amazing gym, and then I became a coach. So I help female entrepreneurs. I mostly work on nutrition. I create simple fitness plan unless people can access my gym, and but mostly focus on wellness and nutrition, health coaching.
Awesome. Yeah, I would be interested. Hopefully you could share this later, just like how you balance that, like the CrossFit and then the long distance running, because it's two different modalities, right? And just maybe how you eat. I'm like, are you eating a lot? A lot of power. Okay, great. Well, I am so excited to really just showcase you all. And as I started thinking about exercise, I started thinking about even my own journey and how I just started walking, and I loved walking, and I did it all the time, and I actually got most of my results walking. And then I started running, and then I started doing races, and then CrossFit just came around, and then I started stretching. And so I love them all. And I just really love that you all specifically, center around those. And so I definitely want the people listening, the women especially listening, to know that they can be healthy and fit and do different exercises. So I just kind of want to start and ask you all to share your story around exercise, your story around fitness. What kind of led you to where you are now, and why you kind of chose to particularly help others in those areas. So maybe Jennifer, we can start with you again.
Okay, awesome. Well, my story, basically, I hated the gym. Like, I never went to the gym. And then I met who's my now husband, my now husband, and he loved to lift weights. He was like, let's go to the gym together. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I tried like the treadmill and the elliptical, and I would just stand there and like watch the clock. Like, I'd have to put a towel over the clock to like stop from being bored, because I just hated it so badly. And then I picked up a schedule for the gym where I was going, and was like looking at the different group fitnesses. I was like, if I have to be there on a certain day at a certain time, then I can't talk myself out of going, like I do with the treadmill. And then so I was like looking at what the different classes were. And then I found Zumba, and I'm like, I think I called it Zumba, because I was like, what the heck is this thing? So I looked it up online. I'm like, ooh, dance fitness. And I'd always loved to dance. So I went to a class. I had a hard time finding a class because I worked 9 to 5. Well, like 9 to 5:30, like 8 to 5:30 to 5:30. So there wasn't a lot of classes like in that time frame for like 6:30 or later. So I had to find a class, but I found a class, and I found that was in September, October of 2010. And then in December 2010, I went to get my instructor license, mostly because I wanted to do the steps the right way. I was like, I'm one of those people. I have to know that I'm doing it right. And then so I was like, never going to teach. I was like, I'm never going to teach. I just want to know. And then about a year later, I decided to start teaching. So this November will be 6 years that I've been teaching Zumba, just in all different, I've taught independently. I've taught at gyms. I got my group fitness certification. And then I'm also certified in body pump and body attack, and teach some other kind of formats. So I've branched out from the Zumba, but the Zumba and all of its specialties, Centao, Step, Gold, which I just taught a Gold class tonight, and that's so much fun, remains kind of the cornerstone of what I do and what I love. So,
that's so awesome. I wish I could be in a Zumba class with you. I think I would be able to coordinate a little bit better. Have an online Zumba class. That's the next podcast.
That is the next. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so much fun, and if you have the right instructor, like anybody can do it. Because my job is to make you feel successful, and no matter how uncoordinated you think you are.
Yeah, I love that. You're already a good coach in my book. Your job is to make me, and it's so true. Like even with my CrossFit, coaches that they'll correct me, because thank God they do, because I would hurt myself sometimes, but they always like, good job. And I'm like, really? Me? Thank you. I'm going to keep coming back, because I feel like I can do this. Right. So yeah, I love that. I love that. Anyone would be blessed to work with you through that. Awesome. All right. Stacy, you want to share a little bit about your story? So good. I was reading it. I was like, yes, people need to know this.
Awesome. So yeah, I actually started to play basketball in the 7th grade. That was kind of my aha moment with like sports and things like that. I played throughout high school, played throughout college. And I think like Lou, my background was initially exercise science and nutrition. And then I went on to health promotion and then on to become a nurse and get a master's and all that kind of jazz. But I think my story more started when I had children. Before I had children, I would go to the gym. I would play in basketball leagues, volleyball leagues. I would do all these different things because I had the time to do it, and that's what I like to do. But then once I started to have kids, it was like my first kid, okay, I can kind of manage this. Maybe I can get to the gym when my husband comes home. And then it was like my second kid, and it was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to the gym with 2 kids. And you would kind of continue to pay your membership, but you very, very rarely get there because by the time you get the kids situated, get out the door, get to the gym, get back, that's like a 4-hour ordeal. And it's like, really? I went to the gym. It took me 4 hours. That's really, just unrealistic. So I had a third kid, and it was no way that I was ever getting to the gym again in my mind. So for me, I knew that the gym wasn't going to work out because it just took too much of my day when I had kids. So I had to figure out, well, how am I going to get me back? Because when you become a mom, you lose a lot of who you are because you have to take on the needs of your children. You have to take on, you don't have a lot of time for yourself. So as I started to reinvent myself and figure out who Stacy was after I had my kids, I knew that health and wellness was a big component of who I was. So I needed to get back to being more physically active on a regular basis. So that's where I started to kind of showcasing my workouts online, and I was going running. I kind of like made an unknown vow to myself. I just was like, I'm going to start moving more. And before I knew, I was like out running and out doing all kinds of things. And then this past year, I said, you know what? Other moms need this. And God kind of birthed my 3 sons' health and wellness because it was my journey. It was from my 3 sons that I was able to rekindle my health and wellness, and then that I wanted to share it with other moms and other busy women, as Lou said, because it doesn't. And I know we're going to get into this a little later. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you find fulfillment and you have the time to do that, that's totally fine. But I think that a lot of times as women, we put physical activity and exercise into a box. And if we don't do things exactly the way that we think it should be, then we just aren't good at it, or we're not getting, enough of it. I started out 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, and that's what I now teach. I teach 15-minute virtual fitness classes to moms and busy women, so that they know too that they can be physically active and it doesn't have to be a whole to-do.
You're so inspiring. When I have kids, I'm coming to you. I'm just be like, Stacey, help me. That's amazing. And I love how you took something you love so much. I have my children and I still want to give my time to my children, but I still want to do something that's inherently a part of who I am and take care of myself. And so I love the My 3 Sons and Health and Wellness name. It's just so perfect for you.
Thank you. And just to add to that, I think that also where the My 3 Sons came from was because I was able to incorporate my kids into the things that I was doing. And that's something else that as a mom you may have to do. You can't get to the gym, but you put some hula hoops out and you guys make an obstacle course, and that's your physical activity. So yes.
Love that. You're probably the most fun mom ever. Awesome. Oh, okay. Well, Lou, tell us a little bit more about you and your story.
Well, Stacey and I have a lot in common. We need to connect. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm also a mom of 3, but I'll get back to that later. But so I told you already that my background was in sports medicine and exercise science. And so I think, journey started probably in high school. I've always been active. Like I've never not been active. It's been a regular part of my life forever, as far as I can remember anyway. But I injured my knee and tore my ACL, and all of a sudden my activity was taken from me, and that was crushing. That was devastating for me at the time. But it opened my eyes to rehabilitation, and not just rehabilitation, but conditioning and strength training and conditioning and preventing injuries. So that's really where I got started. I fell in love with health and wellness at that point. And of course, like I said, I worked in rehabilitation and with college athletes and all that kind of stuff in the care and prevention of athletic injuries. And then I went on to get my strength and conditioning certifications and group fitness. And I think at the time I was taking every certification that I could as far as group fitness went, like all the fads, you know, at the time. And mat science had just come out, which was sort of a blend of yoga and mat Pilates. And so I got certified in that and kind of liked that a little bit. And then I just got thrown into teaching yoga, actually. And so I started with the mat science, and yoga actually became like just a perfect fit for my body, because I am one of those people who is got a lot of laxity in their joints naturally, like I hyperextend a lot. So for me, yoga was just natural. Like I could do pretty much anything effortlessly. But I was also putting myself at risk because I was pushing beyond limits that I should be going, which I have a tendency to do, which is why I've injured myself a lot. But with yoga, I learned to find that just because I could push myself to a certain point, it didn't mean that I should. So I had to find that balance between strength and flexibility. And I really created so much more stability in my body. And I learned to incorporate that into pretty much all the programs that I did, whether it was a rehabilitation program or a general strength training program. And anyway, that evolved with my yoga and Pilates as I had kids, like Stacy, where, you know, before I was going to classes, teaching a gazillion classes a week. And then once I had kids, obviously I had to switch and change gears. So I wasn't teaching as much, but also I wasn't going as much. And I eventually got to the point, like Stacy said, where it was just too much to get to the gym without it taking your whole day. So I decided to just start doing yoga at home. And at first I hated it because it was just so much more fun to go to a class, you know? I'm sure you guys know who teach group fitness. It's so much more fun to go to a class. But I just decided, well, I'm just going to teach a class to myself at home like I would in a studio. And I did. And it worked. And I saved so much time. I got so much more done. And then I evolved into teaching online instead of in the studio because it was convenient. And that's how my online fitness classes were born, I guess, my yoga and Pilates classes. So now I teach online. I teach virtual yoga and Pilates inspired classes. And like you, Stacy, I do a lot of short 15, 20-minute classes. That's kind of my thing too. 5 pose flows, that stuff. Because I do really want to show people that it's easy to fit it in. You know, it doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be a 90-minute class at a studio. You know, you can do those classes when you have time. But to me, the key is consistency. And if you're able to do 15, 20 minutes a day, in the long run, that's going to pay off better than it would to do a 90-minute class once a month. So that's sort of where I am. That's my journey.
Can I say that you may be my fitness soulmate, Will? I just want to put that out there.
I know everything you're saying. I felt like, gosh, we're on the same page.
Stacey and Lou, you should team up and do like
we should.
You know, mixture type of class, and you cool down.
I'm sitting here like, okay, so I need to hit Jennifer for the Zumba because I've been talking about doing Zumba for a while. Me and Lou need to get together and do like a mommy series, and then Anya, you're gonna have to teach me some strength training over there with the CrossFit. So we're just gonna make this a whole little thing here.
Yeah, good. This is so good. I'm telling you, create a whole fitness routine with all 4 of you and just put it out there, you know, live workshops via Zoom stuff. Anyways, awesome. Okay, Anya, can you share a little bit more about your story? It's so good. I want people to hear it.
Sure. I immigrated here quite a few years ago, and I was a very not fit person, like I mentioned before. I could not run a mile. I would faint after a mile since I was in school. I hated gyms like Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Did not feel comfortable. Never could find something I enjoyed doing. And I changed my life 5 years ago. I had a bad breakup and I started eating healthier. So I started taking care of myself. And I was need to say I was a smoker for a good 10 years in the past. So totally switched my lifestyle, started with nutrition. And after a bad breakup, like I mentioned, I started running. And I was back home in Russia, visited my parents, and my mom would come to the gym and I would be still running. An hour later, I would be still running. So I signed up for a half marathon. That was my recovery from something bad in life. And I fell in love with running. I had so much energy. I just kept running, like a Forrest Gump story. So that I ran my first half and I was hooked. I started signing up for bigger, longer races for full marathons. I completed 4 of them, kind of burned out because there are shorter races in between. And while I still enjoy, I lived in California for a while. It was very pleasant to go on an ocean view run. It's gotten more hard because I traveled a lot for a job. So kind of burned out there. And when I settled in Georgia with my husband, I started going into CrossFit classes. And that's what I started with as a commuter. And I fell in love with the community, with things that I could not lift the bar over my head. It was challenging. And as most things I do in life, I get into it seriously. So I started doing more and more CrossFit classes. And 2 years later, I got certified just to improve myself. Like Jennifer, you said, I think you want to learn the skills because it can be dangerous, for at least for CrossFit. It's strength training, it's weights. You want to be on the safe side. And I just love the community. I love the coaching aspect. I can't coach online, like I mentioned before, but I do implement things like body weight training for my clients because that's the easiest thing to do when you're trying to lose weight. And it's 10, 15-minute workouts, not much more. And that's my story. I think that's about it.
Wow. I just think that's so amazing because it's like typically people do the opposite during a breakup or something. They go get unhealthy and you're like, I'm going to take care of me. And I think that's just so beautiful that like you found something that eventually completely turned your life around, right? And I give props to you for being a marathon runner because every year we have like an annual huge marathon and every year I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, nope. It's just 13 and a half miles.
It's life-changing. It is.
I know.
But it's pretty hard, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's for everyone. Nobody has to do it, but if you have the goal in life, you should go for it.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's a matter of like understanding too, you just don't get up one day and start running 13 miles because that's what people do on those races and then they get hurt, right? So
yeah,
the training aspect. But it's funny because I was thinking this yesterday as we were running for CrossFit. I'm like, what if I did that one year? Like, what if I did that this year? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. We'll talk about giving a little fitness training plan. Awesome. Well, yes, ladies, you have all like a beautiful array of stories and talents. And so kind of just wanted to give you a chance to share more of like who you work with and what that's like. Like, what are the typical things that, people are coming to you with in the classes you teach or online or the different clients you have? And what do you help them like work through kind of, just what are kind of some of the problems and solutions you offer? It can be nutrition too. It doesn't just have to be in fitness as well. So who did I start with? Okay, Jennifer, do you want to start?
Well, I only teach locally. So I teach at a gym. And so I come to, whoever likes Zumba or who likes to dance will come to my class. But I've taught, like, I was so scared to teach seniors. Like, I thought like they were just gonna like pass out and like drop dead in my class or something for like years, so I didn't teach it. But now it's one of my favorite classes to teach, the active older adults, because they're so inspiring and they're so social. Like, they'll be like, oh honey, I'm not gonna be here next week, but don't worry, I'm going on vacation, but I'll be back. Like, regular people, regular classes will just be like, come and go as they please. But I help people kind of work through, in the Zumba, but primarily more in the body pump, where you're showing them its weights. So you're showing the modifications. And, like I'm dealing with a shoulder injury, or somebody will come in and they'll have a knee injury. So I'll have to teach a middle of the road, like for the Zumba a middle of the road class so that people can take it up or take it down based on their fitness level. The main thing that I help people work through is thinking that people are looking at them and they're really not. The only butt anybody's looking at is mine up front. I think that it's a big thing. I mean, I felt the same way when I went in, that, oh my God, everybody's gonna be staring at me, you know, and it's not true. It's not the case. And everybody's so supportive. But so it's really kind of actually just getting that self-confidence to like go from the back of the line, the back of the room to the front row, and watching people kind of go from step touch and no fitness level to doing a Zumba class in a higher intensity. Like my gold people will start out at step touch, and then unfortunately by the time I have to leave the class due to my schedule changes or whatever, they'll be doing my regular Zumba routines just at a lower intensity. And it's so great to see.
That's awesome. So how do you find that kind of, I just think it's beautiful that you're saying that in regards to like a confidence thing, like when they're coming to the class and just going from a place of being like, I don't know if I actually want to be here, I'm going to be all the way in the back, to being in the front end. Do you feel like that, I don't know if you get to know them personally, has translated to the other parts of their life? Because I know it has for me. Like when I can lift a heavy barbell, I'm like, I can conquer the world, you know? It's just made me a lot more confident. Like, I don't know if have you seen that happen?
I've seen it in class. I can't really attest much. Like I'm Facebook friends with some of my students because it was the easiest way for me to promote my classes for free, friending them on Facebook. But they're fantastic. But I still get like, I'll comment about changing classes or teaching here or there. And people will like message me or like comment like, you are my favorite Zumba instructor. And so I see the confidence mostly in the gold classes, just because they start out thinking they can't do anything. And then they do everything. Or when people just kind of move up, and then eventually become instructors themselves, and just seeing that. But it's been such a transformation. Even for me, I was not a person who would like stand up and dance in front of random people ever. And I was that same person that was afraid to go in, and I moved from the back to the front. And, you know, and then it does a lot for your confidence when you're standing up there in front of, 10, 20 people, and your brain freezes and you don't know what to do, but you have to keep smiling anyway. And so it teaches you, not only confidence, but thinking fast on your feet and being like 2 beats ahead of everybody else, and being willing and able to improvise and not, so stuck to your plan or your rules or whatever, because you just got to keep moving, because it's not about me. It's about my students and making them have a successful class, because you don't know what people have gone through to get there. You could be that mom with 3 kids who, fought tooth and nail, went through heck to get your kid in the daycare, and he's probably out there screaming his head off, but you're just coming in and you just want an hour for yourself. And so that's why I do what I do.
Such a good coach and person. I don't know. I would feel really encouraged for you to be my Zumba teacher too, as well, just because it's like very evident that you do care about their fitness, but you care about who they are. And I think at the end of the day, that's what everyone wants a coach to be like, right? Caring about who they are. So thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Stacy, what about you? Tell us a little bit more about what you do and who you work with and everything.
Okay, there we go. So I work with moms and busy women. I work with those women who feel like they don't have time for themselves, who feel like they don't have the time to invest in themselves. So I focus on health and wellness. I focus on mind, body, and spirit. And I focus on exercise, eating healthy, and self-love. Because a lot of times we're so busy that we don't take the time to actually figure out, what is it that we like to do? How do I take care of myself as a mom? We're taking care of our significant other. We're taking care of our kids. So a lot of times we don't realize, just going to get a simple massage or just taking a simple bath, because nobody takes baths anymore, right? We're just on the go, shower, shower, shower. So just doing those small things, how they can increase your well-being and the way you look and feel about yourself. So that's one thing that I focus on. And then, as I said before, I actually offer what I call Tighten and Tone at Home virtual fitness classes. so that moms and busy women can tighten and tone in the comfort of their own home. You may, as Jennifer said, she was trying to figure out what Zumba class she can get into. You may not be able to find something that's compatible with your work schedule, but if you can, you know that like I can work out in my home. My kids could be screaming in the other room. You know, I could literally, as a participant, I can cut my video off on the Zoom app. You don't have to see what I look like. I could have like my hair all over my head, yesterday's clothes on, whatever the case may be as a mom, and I still can get a workout in. And the one thing that my clients say is it's only 15 minutes. So even if Stacy pushes us hard for a certain amount of the workout, we know that I can do this because in 15 minutes I'm going to be done. You know, I have a client who is not a mom, but she's a big time lawyer. And she says, I literally can put my food in the oven while I do my 15-minute workout. It's cooking while I'm working out. And then when I'm done, I can eat my dinner. So I think that making it, as you guys said, convenient and fitting it in, that's what my specialty is.
So good. I love that. So how do you always have, are the classes recorded for some of them live? Like, how do you go about that?
Yes. So I am live 2 times a week. And I offer replays for all of them. So I have different tiers of membership, and my higher membership is 3 times a week. So they get 2 live offerings and 1 recording. But even if you can't make it, you will still get a recording or a replay. So you literally have these in your repertoire to watch over and over again at your convenience. So it's sort of like purchasing a DVD or a series of workouts.
So good. So then they kind of have like a database of ones they can go to. That's amazing. Awesome. It's so great because actually when I first started working out consistently, I should say, I did walking, but I did a lot of at-home DVDs and I loved it. So actually to go to a group class when I first did CrossFit was so different. It was like, what if they look at me? Like those very questions. But I found that working out at home in the convenience of your own home, it could be like whenever, like in between cooking dinner or early in the morning or later at night, right? Yeah, so good. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jennifer, you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question for Stacy. Since you're teaching online, how do people, like when you're teaching live, are people turning off their videos? And like you as the instructor, are you concerned for their safety? Because I think that's my biggest, concern with transitioning to online. When I'm in a class and I'm live with people, I can kind of read their body language, see kind of how they're acting. And, so my concern is if I'm on the video, and somebody turns off their video, I can't see how they are and know if they're okay. So what has been your experience with that?
So I think that you do want to have a level of comfortability with people, whether it's talking to them offline to see what their fitness level is, to see what their needs are. I'll have some people who, they may wake up for an early class and they just aren't dressed properly or whatever the case may be, and they may turn off their video. But for the most part, I don't get a lot of people who turn off their video, so I'm still able to see what they're doing. But for me, I just give good cueing. So I'll give different levels of it. I always do a beginner, an intermediate, and a full body level is what I like to call them, so that wherever you are, you can find something that works for you. No knees over the toes for squats and things like that. So that I give a visual, but then I also give a verbal, so that even if I can't see you, I'm letting you know exactly what to do and what not to do. So hopefully that will be the prevention in like any injury or anything like that. But you can really you can call the shots. I mean, it's your class, so you can say, the first 5 times that we're together, you have to keep your video on, or maybe you have to keep your video on because, Zumba is fast paced and you want to make sure that everybody is kind of keeping up, and you can just put it for a positive spin on it. I want to make sure that, everybody's keeping up, if I need to cue differently, or if I need to do X, Y, and Z. So all videos are to be on.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. That's been my biggest concern, is again, because I'm so concerned about the participants that, is like, okay, well, if they turn off the video, then what? So thank you.
Welcome. I mean, you're welcome. And from the legal side of it, you can have them sign a contract in the beginning that kind of says, X, Y, and Z. But I think that just so you're legally covered. But I think that if that's the only thing that's stopping you, you got to get started.
Yes. So good. So
that in time.
Yeah, and that's another thing, right? Yeah. So true. So true. All right, Lou, what about you? Tell us a little bit more about you and your at-home yoga programs.
Okay. Well, let's see. With my at-home yoga programs, the people that I work with are usually people who are busy professionals or busy entrepreneurs, busy women. I guess modern women is the word I like to use. But just people who have got a lot going on and they have trouble making time for themselves. And they're looking for a way. They know they need to make their health and wellness a priority. I think a lot of people don't realize that they need to make their health and wellness a priority. Like they always say, oh yeah, my health is important. But you never really make it important until, or at least what I've noticed is a lot of people don't make it important until something happens and they've had that wake up call. Maybe their blood pressure is high, or maybe their blood sugar is high, or something happens. And all of a sudden they think, oh my gosh, I've got to start taking better care of myself. Maybe it's even a loved one or something. But anyway, those are the people that I see the most. And I think the way that I help them is I try to create customized and convenient type programs that work for them. So I look at people's lifestyles and I look at their abilities, their strengths and weaknesses, their abilities and limitations. So I work with people in two ways. I work with them one-on-one through private virtual yoga sessions and also through courses. And the courses I've kind of designed for people's busy lifestyles, so they're short and sweet and convenient. And I also try to start everything, like you guys were saying earlier, I start everything from like a beginner perspective. So I start everybody off at the basic version of most poses. And then I see how they're doing. So if I'm one-on-one with somebody, we both got our video on, I watch how they're doing it, I see their form, and I can usually tell, if they're doing it right or not, what the issue is, and offer options to make it easier or harder depending on their body. So I customize it specifically for them and then give them options to progress the pose as we move forward. And then the other thing that I love about working with people one-on-one is I can see where they are in a pose and then just offer tiny little modifications. Maybe it's just shifting your weight one way or a tiny little adjustment. And then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and they feel something brand new that they've never felt before. So I think teaching people how to listen to their bodies and find that awareness of where their bodies need to be is also something that I really enjoy helping people with. So I think that's about it. So I think the main thing is just helping people find where they need to be in their bodies and find things that work for them. And also going back to Jennifer, I think verbal cueing is the key. For me, I've always been, I talk a lot when I teach, sometimes too much. But I think that really makes a big difference, giving specific cues and getting really good at verbally adjusting people in whatever they're doing makes a big difference when you're working virtually.
Yeah, and that's the key with Zumba is you're not supposed to talk.
Right.
I don't
Watch me.
So it's all nonverbal for the most part, like except for the back or front or but so that's and then the music. So the music there is the challenge. So
yeah.
But I've gotten an appreciation for the verbal cue with the body pump and some of the other formats I've started to teach. But it was the hardest thing to learn how to talk and cue at the same time.
I bet if you're not used to it, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine how hard that is. Yeah, Lou, I really love what you said is helping even with this very kind of even the basic poses or the intermediate or the advanced, like you're very much about helping them find something that's good for their body and helping them say, you know, discover that versus like, you should do this. And when you're like, my body can't yet, I cannot do a full downward facing dog. Right. I just can't, you know, or something like that. Right. And then, you know, helping them get to that and even establish more strength and flexibility and confidence in that. So I love that you make it very customizable.
Yeah, I think that's the key, because a lot of times when you go to a group class, you're just mixed in with everybody else and you're supposed to do whatever pose everybody's doing, but you might not have the physical, you know, ability to do it. So I think, yeah, finding where you need to be is really important to prevent injuries and to take care of your body.
Yeah, so good. So good. So yeah, Anya, maybe let's talk a little bit about you. I don't know, maybe your experience with CrossFit too, but at least with my experience in a group class, actually, our CrossFit gym is really small. So we don't have like beginner or any of those, like everyone's kind of grouped together. And at first it wasn't intimidating, but I love is because it's smaller, coaches also make sure that each person individually is modified based on their needs. And so kind of, I personally like that. I love that you get to see each person progress and you kind of get to see where you could be and all that. So that's been my experience. Maybe tell us a little bit about you and your CrossFit coaching experience. What do you work on with people there? How to make it less scary for people? Because sometimes people are like, oh, you know, just share your.
Honestly, my favorite things about CrossFit is probably coaching smaller classes when I can't pay attention to everyone, because CrossFit is all about the form. If you don't get the form right, that's when it gets scary. And Stacey, I'm just listening to all you ladies and thinking, can I teach CrossFit online? I would be probably shaky thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to drop the bar. So it's interesting too. Cueing is a lot of it. It's tactile. Sometimes you're allowed to touch people to fix their forms. But my favorite part about teaching CrossFit, and that kind of transfers and translates into my business too. I love to see, especially with women, more confidence, more, I can do this. This is not scary. That does not make me a man because I'm lifting weights. I'm not going to get bulky, all those things. And people kind of flourish in that environment because they get stronger, they get encouragement, they get cheering on, you know, and all the clapping in CrossFit and all the big support. So in this respect, and I really like hearing the stories. We have a lady at my local gym. She's 75. She's doing handstands anywhere she travels. She seriously takes pictures just doing handstands. We have kids, right? We have a lady who's 60 and she competed in the games, which is a significant level of CrossFit, right? And when I started, my first question to a coach was, will I get bulky? And he laughed at me, of course, saying, no, you won't. But I could not lift the bar over my head. And then I traveled. So learning that I can actually put my suitcase overhead and on the airplane was very helpful, because I didn't need to ask for help anyone. I didn't need to be in that situation. Or lift something heavy from the ground, knowing how and without hurting next day, or weeding my garden and feeling like, hey, my hammies will be okay next day. So those things really make me happy, and I thought it kind of transfers into my personal practice with clients. Even though I can't coach CrossFit, I prescribe things that make them feel more confident, feel that they're having fun, they enjoy the program or whatever they're doing. Sometimes it's walking, sometimes it's body weight at home, and just feeling good. I only, like Chalene Johnson says it, only work out on the days you want to feel good. That's kind of, I always follow those guidelines, because it's important to feel good in your body for your overall wellness, for your mindset, for your confidence, and I work with entrepreneurs. So it kind of helps them to be more comfortable on videos, more comfortable in their business, more confident as well. So that's about it. Kind of, I went all over the place.
Oh, you sold me. I want to go to your gym. I'm just kidding. But I think what you're saying is so true. It's that I love that you said about the 60, 75-year-old, because my pastor's wife was the one that ran half marathons and the one that joined CrossFit before me. And I was like, you know what? Like, she can do it. I can do it. And she and her husband are both doing it, and they're doing awesome. I'm like, they're doing things regular 70-year-olds can't do, or even some 25 or 28-year-olds, right? And I just think that what you're saying is just giving yourself the freedom to get that confidence and to do those things. And this misconception that a lot of women have is that if we lift weights, we're going to get bulky. Like, unless you're pumping some serious stuff to get you there, it's like your body's just not designed for that. And actually having tone and having all that is beautiful. And so, yeah, definitely, I think it's just so great that you allow women to see that as well in your regular practice, as well as in your CrossFit coaching. So good. So good. All right, ladies. So kind of coming and wrapping up, just what tip or encouragement would you give to those listening? Like, think about just, it's probably, I mean, men might listen to this too, but women, you know, just what encouragement would you give them to really kind of start somewhere around their exercise program? I could start with Jennifer.
I would say to find something you love to do, because when you find something you love to do, it's never a chore. And to not be afraid, you know, when I'm talking specifically about group fitness, to, you know, instructors don't bite. We're here for you. We're here to help you. And that if you have questions about a class, to not be afraid to, you know, kind of walk up to an instructor after class or before class and say, hey, I'm interested in taking this class, but I'm a little scared. Can you give me some tips? You know, we'll show you the modifications and we'll show you what you need to do, and to just have an open mind and have fun. I think ultimately that's what it is for me. Like, I talk to Lou all the time. I'm like, I don't do mind body fitness. It's not me. I can't turn my mind off and like stop. And so we kind of joke about that back and forth, because yoga probably wouldn't work for me as well as Zumba does, because it's not something that I'm attached to. So I think if you try out some different things and you find something you really love to do, and then just do it a little bit every day, you'll just start to feel better, and then the other changes will come, the weight loss and the confidence. It's just about, especially with group fitness, it's also about social, you know, being social, and you'll have this all these new friendships and this whole new community of amazing people that will be with you through thick and thin. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of my life from doing Zumba. So.
Yeah, I love what you're just saying also around the community aspect, because that's so true. Some of my greatest friends are people from my CrossFit gym, and it helps that we were good friends with the owners before. But I think it's just you establish relationships, because I'm there about an hour, nearly an hour. My husband's a coach now, so we're there a lot. So it's just so good to have those friendships and be able to have that community. So I love that you're encouraging people around that as well. So good. What about you, Stacy? Any tips?
Yes. So the first thing I would say is that self-care is not selfish. Okay. So whether it's you going to a Zumba class, going to a CrossFit gym, working out at home, all of those things are going to allow you to have the energy that you need, the confidence, as you guys said, the ability to feel good and look good. And that is sort of the prescription that you need for your life. You want to be able to look good, feel good, have the energy, go after your dreams, and do all those things as a woman. So I think, number one, that we have to stop thinking that self-care is selfish. And then number two, fit it in. I know that sounds so easy and so like, what, Stacy? But fit it in. You can fit it in while you are at the playground with your kids. You can fit it in while you're at soccer practice. You can fit it in while you're washing the dishes. Like, you guys may be thinking that I'm crazy, but you know, you can do some jogging in place while you're loading the dishwasher, or some squats, or whatever the case may be. So just start out 5 minutes at a time, and then you can increase and do different things from there. But I always like to believe that little by little becomes a lot. So start small, and then you can, as Lou said, if you do 5 minutes every day, you're consistent, and that's good. And then once you get the consistency down, you can start to add on time or different modalities if you choose to.
Love it. Yes. Fit it in. And I love what you're saying around self-care is not selfish. I was just listening to a little self-care masterclass today, and it was from an entrepreneur speaking to entrepreneurs, just saying, listen, we are our biggest if we don't show up well in the world, then we're not going to be able to do what we're called to do. And you're right. So many women think it's selfish. Is it okay that I took 30 minutes away from my kids to do this, or from my husband to do this? But really, it's like, who else is going to care? That's why they call it self-care. Like, who else is going to care for us if we don't first care for ourselves? So love that you framed it, that exercise is a form of self-care. Fitness is a form of self-care. So good. What about you, Lou?
Well, I have to agree with Stacy, of course, that I also think things that I teach are that anything's better than nothing. So, for me, I always wanted to get to those 60-minute classes because they're awesome, but realistically, every day just wasn't fitting into my schedule. So I definitely believe that anything's better than nothing. Even if it's a crazy day and you've only got 5 minutes or 5 poses that you can do or whatever, anything's better than nothing. So I think keeping that mindset, because a lot of times people will miss a day or 2 or 3 because of something crazy like, a hurricane. And then all of a sudden they stop. So I think just remembering that if you miss a day or 2, it's okay. Just pick back up where you left off. You don't have to start over, because things happen in life and you have to shift as those things happen. And the other thing that I think is important to remember is there's days when you just don't feel like doing it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I mean, there's some days when you shouldn't, and but my advice there is on the days when you don't feel like it, just start by tricking yourself into it, kind of like if you had planned to go on a mile run, for example, start by just saying, okay, I'm going to change into my comfy clothes, and then say, okay, I'm going to put on my sneakers. Okay, well, I'm just going to walk out to the mailbox. Well, guess what? I'm all the way out at the mailbox. I may as well walk down the street. And I think if you just trick yourself into it, I don't know if trick is the right word, but just start small, do those little things. Before you know it, you're out the door walking. So with yoga, same thing. Just put your yoga clothes on, roll out your mat, start doing some cat and cow poses. Before you know it, you're probably doing 15, 20 minutes. So I think keeping those little things, strategies in your toolbox can help you stay consistent.
Just so great, Lou. So great, you tricking yourself into, I'm going to put on my comfy clothes. For me, that's my nightie, though. I don't know if that's necessary. My tight. Sometimes I'm like, these are tighter than they used to be. Nightie, going to bed. No, that's so great. And you're right. Like, so for me, like, I was kind of sick this weekend, and I took probably 3 or 4 days off, and I never really take, maybe once or twice a year. And it's so easy for me to, like, you know what, I'm going to just work. I don't need to go to the gym right now. I have so much to do. But it's like, no, get your butt in there. Even if it sucks a little bit, it's going to be okay. And I think what's great also with what you're saying is don't expect to go back at full speed where you were too, even up to 4 or 5 days ago, because it feels different going back into it. So allowing yourself some grace, even in those first couple workouts back in. Because I know when I took time off from, stretching or yoga as much, when I got back to it, it was really hard. And I couldn't touch my toes anymore. And I'm just like, oh, great. But it's so easy to be like, great, I'm no longer flexible, versus, okay, keep working at it daily and then we'll get back there, right? So I love that you said that, just kind of getting over that barrier and just getting at it.
And you always feel better afterwards.
Always.
You never work out and then say, oh gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But you might go home and not do it and then decide, gosh, I really wish I would have worked out.
Yes.
I just had a client who posted on Facebook. She said exactly that. She said, oh my gosh, this workout was a beast today, but I feel so good afterwards.
Mm-hmm. That's the key.
It's like after you have birth, you have this little baby, and it doesn't even matter that I had to go through 25 hours of labor. Oh, I would do this all over again. So it's the same kind of idea.
Yeah, the way you feel at the end. That's what it is for me too.
So good. Awesome. Well, Anya, tell us a little bit about you. What tip or encouragement you would have?
I would really agree with Jennifer because not that I don't disagree. I disagree with everybody else. Everybody has the point, and I agree with all of them. But I feel like having fun and play as a primal health coach, I teach a lot of play time. So not only working out, but doing fun things like getting outside in the sun, running after your kid, playing with your dog, going swimming, going tubing, going things. Just keep moving. Even if you don't feel like you want to get in the class, you don't want to do body weight today, you start disliking push-ups, or you don't want to go to CrossFit because you're not comfortable with it, just learning how to squeeze in those playtimes, just fun activities that you're doing when you're a child, running with a stick in the yard. This is my tip number one. And secondly, I really encourage women to get a little stronger, because it empowers you. It makes you more confident. It doesn't make you more manly or feministic or anything like that. It makes you more, in a way, in my mind, it makes you more feminine. You can handle, you're more independent, you're stronger, you're more beautiful, you're more toned. So not being afraid of getting stronger is one of the things I recommend to my clients, is just getting out of their comfort zone once in a while. Again, you don't have to do CrossFit and go crazy with the weights. It can be baby weights, it can be body weight, it can be playing outside and getting stronger that way. So those are my 2 tips.
Have fun and get strong. Those are your 2. Let's do them together. Can I have fun and get strong? You know, I love that, because it's so true. And I love that you brought up that you are a primal coach, and that the very aspect of play has actually been taken out from a lot of our just daily lives. When we become an adult, it's like, you can't play, you can't go outside on the swing or the monkey bars. I'm like, no, I should. Hopefully the monkey bars can hold my weight. But, you know, so it's just that idea that, like, you know, even coloring, let's just say that's a new thing this day, right? You know, these adult coloring books. I'm like, just get a kid's coloring book. It's the same thing. But there's these things that we did as kids that we're taking out when we're adults, that are actually really an integral part of our health and well-being still. And I love that you encourage people to do that and get strong. I love that. So good. Can we just be friends all the time? I think we all need to hang out all the time and do each other's workouts. Awesome. Okay. Well, just to kind of wrap it up, I just maybe individually just keep sharing where people can find you if you're on social media, if there is a, you know, your website or anything like that. And also, I know each of you are giving away something. Just talk a little bit about that. And then I'll be sure to post the links for everything so for everyone can see. But maybe Jennifer, just share with us where people can learn more about you and your other job too, right? You do a bunch of things. So,
yeah. So fitness is my part-time. It's my fun hobby job that I get paid to work out. What's better than that, right? Instead of paying somebody else, I get paid. But I do have a Facebook page. It's Rhythm Fitness with Jen Wegman. And I have a website. It's jenniferwegman.com/fitness. I post my schedule on there. So like my live schedule. And then if I do like virtual classes, I have a scheduler on there, and I tell my story a little bit. And then so I'm giving away on there. You can grab my freebie 7 tips to get started in group fitness. So it's really just super simple and just really meant to encourage people and answer some questions that they might have before they kind of go into group fitness. Oh, and my other business is Insight Information Solutions. You can find me at Insights by Jen on most of the social networks. And I help people connect to their audiences like never before. I help with market research and content creation and visibility. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. 2 great jobs. What's better than that? Right?
You always make me think like more about my relationships, not just professionally, but also like, how am I using my Facebook to get in touch with a family member or whatever, you know, right? You've always done really well at that. And it makes sense that you teach group fitness then, right? That's around relationships, around like almost networking in that capacity. So great. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Stacey, you next. Share with us where people can find you and a little bit about your giveaway.
Awesome. So you can find me on Facebook at Stacey German Stills. I also have a business page. It's My 3 Sons Health and Wellness. And then I am on Periscope daily. So I do a lot of live streaming on Periscope and on Facebook. And I'm My 3 Sons W on Periscope. So those are some of the ways you can contact me in the internet streets is what I like to call them. And then my website, I'm actually revamping it. It'll be up. The new one will be up this weekend. It is my3sonshealthandwellness.com. So that's pretty simple. And the freebie that I'm offering is a 5-day fitness challenge. So if you go to bit.ly/fitme2017, you will automatically be signed up for a 5-day fitness challenge. You get a daily encouragement or a daily inspiration. And then you also get like a 4-minute workout. So most of the workouts are like dancing, fun kind of workouts. And this is for the mom or the busy woman who needs to jumpstart their kind of fitness, or for the person who's kind of started it and then they've fallen off the wagon. So that is the giveaway.
So good. I bet you that's just going to be such a fun 4 minutes each day. So everyone should definitely go and grab that. Awesome. Lou, what about you?
You can find me online at relaxgetfit.com. That's my website. I'm also on Facebook, Lou Melchior, and all my links are there. And Instagram, relaxgetfit. All my links are there as well. Are we doing a giveaway or freebie? I think I sent you a giveaway, but I can tell you about both. Okay. So on my website, I have a couple different freebies. I have a 5-day yoga challenge, which is 5 videos that are less than 10 minutes each. So if someone's looking for an easy way to fit a little bit of relaxation and try a little bit of yoga, you want to feel a little less stressed and more energetic, that's a good way to try out a little bit of yoga and see how you feel. But they're designed for busy people, obviously, 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes a day. So you can try the free 5-day yoga challenge. And for the giveaway, I have a spot in my More Energy, Less Stress program, which is a 4-week program with videos that are about 20 minutes or less each day of short yoga, Pilates inspired, and relaxation videos that you can easily fit into your day for about 4 weeks. So for busy people as well.
Awesome. Is the 4-week program, is it a self-paced course, or you have a certain start date? Okay.
It's an evergreen, so you can start it and do it anytime.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure, so when I post that, I did it right. Awesome. Great. I mean, I'm going to have to sign up for all of your guys' challenges. Then it's going to soon be more than 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anya, what about you?
You can find me at anyaperry.com, and my Facebook group, it's Cozy Space, not too big and cozy enough to get my attention. It's Eat Well and Thrive with Anya Perry. And my giveaway or freebie, both 2 in 1, is a 30-minute coffee chat. I call them coffee chats when we connect and try to these chats are usually for women who are a little bit lost and don't know where to start, just to give them an idea how you can develop your own personalized plan, your workout routine, what you can do at home, how you can incorporate play, where you stand right now physically, where you want to be, and kind of find fun ways to overcome this gap. So, Brianna, I think you're going to post my link because I can't pronounce that link name.
Yeah, so great. It's almost like you guys are all together are a complete fitness plan. So great. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. It was just so fun and so blessed to have you all here. And I cannot wait to do more of this with you all. And everyone listening or watching, thank you so much for joining us. I'll be sure to post the links for all of these wonderful ladies so you can definitely be in touch and follow them. So thank you so much. All right. You can feel free to unmute yourself and say bye.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
you, guys.
All right.
Nice meeting y'all.
Nice meeting everyone.
All right.
Bye.